the Nerd Show. Podcast Radio. She's a nerd, he's a nerd, talking about what we know. Nerd Podcast Radio. We're all nerds, we're all nerds. Buckle up, cause here we go. Nerd Podcast Radio. Welcome everybody to the Nerd Podcast Radio. Welcome everybody to the Nerd Podcast Radio.
Welcome to Nerd Podcast Radio, your nerd home away from home.
Welcome to Nerd Podcast Radio. I'm your host, Super Vegan Brian, for about 50 minutes of this episode. And then David and Erica are going to take over. But
I've agreed to no such thing.
It's in your contract.
I bet you didn't know buses went through here.
Yeah, the imp visited you and took your blood in the night.
Got it.
And I'm joined by Kirsty Smurferica.
Hi.
And David D. About that there.
Hi, everybody.
And we have a very special guest today. We have Savannah Broadway, also known as Zan. And Savannah, there is no intro I can give you that could do you justice. So,
I'm flatterer.
Why don't you let the listeners know who you are, what you do?
All right. I'm, as they said, Savannah Broadway. I have the terrible misfortune of never being able to take on a pen name because my name is basically a pen name or a stripper name, depending on who you talk to. But anyway, I am currently over at Ian Publishing. I am the developing editor for the Gate Pass Gazette, which specifically publishes 4 articles for Level Up Advanced 5th Edition, which is Ian Publishing's, basically it was 5.5 before 5.5. They've actually implemented a lot of the, not saying that they necessarily stole it from us. They were fairly intuitive progressions, but still.
For our non-tabletop role-playing game listeners, 5.5 of what?
That's fair. The world's most popular role-playing game that you're not actually allowed to mention by name in a book. It's D&D. So yeah. And I've been in the industry for, it's been since 2011. So it's been 15 years, which is pretty wild.
Oh, you know what? The last time we had you on, it was pre-OGL controversy.
Oh, that nonsense. That was right when I was getting, I think that was the first year I had my new job at EN, and I'm like, am I just gonna lose my job? Is that what's going on here?
Wow.
That was a thing.
That was a crazy time.
It was. But
they
yes.
backtracked it relatively quickly, though. They're like,
Well, I think they realized they dug goof real quick.
Yeah, but it was intense, 6 months or something from the first rumblings to the
I think
tail
David,
between the legs.
I think David is one of the people responsible because on this show he was like, everybody cancel your D&D Beyond accounts now.
Yeah, no, I did. It was a call to action. I did.
Yeah, no, doing the Lord's work here, because fuck that noise.
Look, there's only one way we can get him to pay attention. That's hit him where it hurts.
Did you ever re-up?
correct.
Yeah, eventually, but
Yeah.
The thing
it was
is
quite a
at
while.
this point, there's lots of role-playing games out there that people like to play. It doesn't have to be yours.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I publish for a D20 system, but there's so many good ones out there.
Tabletop role-playing games are an interesting thing because they're a group exercise and they're also a led group exercise. Well, most of them have a storyteller or a game master or a dungeon master or whatever. And there are lots of different ways that you can run a tabletop role-playing game. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But first,
we're going to play everybody's favorite game, What's Nerdy With You, where we all talk about the nerdiest thing we've done in the last 2 weeks and vote using the patented Mike Myler widget system.
Hey.
And as our guest, you get to go first. So what's the nerdiest thing you've done in the past few weeks?
See, I remember the last time I was on, I was doing a stupid amount of nerdy things at one time for some reason. And this time it was just that I was listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl. Which one was it? The Gate of the Pharaoh Gods. While I was playing a farming sim called Coral Island.
Oh wow!
So
that's not bad.
I'm gonna go ahead and go second.
Ooh.
Because, well, it's stupid. So you are involved in this, Zan, because we're going back and forth trying to figure out a topic. This is the nerdiest thing I've done.
Uh-huh.
The nerdiest thing I have done is scream and curse at YouTube because immediately after we picked this topic, Matthew Colville did it on his YouTube channel. And we have documentation that we decided to do it first.
Originality.
Just in
Yes.
case. That's
I mean, Zan and I had a back and forth about what we were going to talk about. And Zan's idea was GM style. And it was like a few days later, Matthew Colville posted, ooh. And he's like, he did it in like the woods, and he was like hiking, and he's like, a lot of other D&D people do this. I'm going to do this. And he's like, GM styles. And the first thing he's like, I don't believe in it. And I'm like, oh, you jerk. So yeah, that my nerdiest thing is yelling at Matthew Colville at my phone.
I have no idea who you're talking about, just for record.
Matthew Colville is oh really? Matthew Colville is
I have no social media, so
he is a really, really cool tabletop role-playing game creator on YouTube. He's old school. He's very grognardy.
Mhm.
And he was one of the I'm gonna get it wrong. I believe it was Guild Wars, but he's done a bunch of D&D stuff, and but his running the game YouTube videos are amazing. They're really, really good. They've been going on a really long time. He wrote a bunch of the comics for Critical Role.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
Okay, also don't watch Critical Role. Like, I know what it is because David's talked about it enough at this point in life that like I'm very aware of Matt Mercer's on there, or was.
I don't want to misrepresent. I haven't really gotten into this newest 4th season.
Yeah, I haven't watched it at all. I
don't really do any of that stuff. So again,
Okay, so-
no shade to anybody on the socials that's promoting D&D and RPGs, because I love that. The more mainstream it is, the better.
Every time you call YouTube a social, I'm like, I get it, it is, but I don't think of it that way. I think of it as a media producer, but he is responsible
can you, like, make
for
comments on videos, right? That's like a thing.
You can. It's social media. I agree with you. I'm mad about it, but I'm agreeing with it. Anyway, he did a video about like GM, like running bosses in games in a way that gives them more action economy, and basically ignoring the rules of whatever system you're running and just doing what you want with your bosses to give them a little bit more action economy. And I love it. And it changed the way I run bosses. And I really, really enjoy it. My favorite thing is giving bosses the ability to res a minion every round.
Ooh, saucy.
Get back up and fight.
You're not done yet.
Yeah. So yeah, yelling at YouTube was mine. David.
Okay, well, nerdiest thing I've done the last couple of weeks, well, I unfortunately no longer have weekends to call my own, as I work at the Renaissance Fair, which is currently going on. So
I knew
my
that would
nerdy-
be it.
my nerdy thing is
David
dressing
has
up like a
nothing but
peasant
that.
from the 1500s. And
The
taking
original
tickets at
Renaissance
the
Fair.
Original Renaissance Pleasure Fair in Southern
Ooh,
California. So
fancy.
we are currently, at the time of this recording, about to have weekend number 3 of 7. There are still 4 weekends to go if anyone wants to come to the original Renaissance Pleasure Fair in Southern California.
Yeah.
Far away.
It's in Irwindale, California.
Yes, it is.
I have no idea where that is in California.
It's in Southern California.
I was going to say,
it's-
unless it's at the tippy top, it's way too far for me. So
I know way too much about Irwindale. It is where the Miller Brewery and the Sriracha Factory.
Well, the brewery is no longer Miller Brewery. It is now Irwindale City Brewery.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a microbrewery place now.
Interesting.
All I remember about when I went to the fair was Brian and I arguing about how we were going to get out of the parking lot.
Mm,
Oh yeah, because you don't like cutting in line, and I was going to break rules.
Yeah.
you fiend! How dare you?
Right?
The whole game. It was a literal screaming match. It was so
Back-
I was like,
Back in the day,
Brian, there are rules.
I will not say that I do this now. I'm not going to say I don't do this now. But back in the day, I kept a reflective vest and flashlight in my car just in case I needed direct traffic to get out of a parking lot event.
that is true. That's a fact.
I see.
And I'm not going to say I do it now, but I'm not going to say I don't.
Fair enough. You know, between this and the con story you were telling me, like, is screaming matches over rules in public like your MO, or?
Yes, yes, it is.
I mean, I was a lot younger back then.
We were
Don't-
both a lot younger back then.
Don't let the
Yeah.
Ned Flanders mustache fool you.
the convention thing. I was a lot younger back then. I mean, I was a venture lieutenant and representing Paizo at the time, and still did it. But
Say hi to Lee Ho, Brian.
hi, Leo.
Oh my god.
So if anyone would like to see how much like Ned Flanders Brian looks, that's patreon.com/nerdpodcastradio.
He does look shockingly a lot like Ned Flanders.
I know, right?
more and more all the time.
So, Erica, what's nerdy with you?
David, it is so cool that you asked me that. Thanks. I really appreciate that.
I let you
tried.
go last.
Hey, just because she and I are dressed as twinsies right now.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Don't
that's true.
bump
What the
into
hell,
things.
bro?
Yeah. Okay, so I have this really funny story. So we were coming home the other night, and I'm banking on that Chris isn't going to listen to this episode. So we're coming home the other night, and we're listening to what I call Erica's Random Radio on Spotify, which means if I like the song, it goes in there. I have I don't know, 5,500 songs at this point. You would have no idea. It doesn't matter the genre. No idea what's coming next.
That's one of those ones you just put that bitch on random and let it play.
Bingo. That's exactly what I do. So, anyways, we're coming home, and Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer comes on, and we're like rocking out, right? And Chris is over there, da 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 da. And I was like, yeah. I was like, you know what the song's about, right? And he's like, what? I was like, it's about hooking up. And he's like, what? I was like, he's literally saying, call me and I'm going to be your sledgehammer. Like, what do you think that means? And like the look of realization on my husband's face was like the best ever. And then he kind of blushed a little because he had never even thought about it. And so anyways, I thought that was really adorable because I love my husband and he's just so cute and his sweet innocence that I just, fantastic. So anyways, I immediately text my best friend Marcus and told him what happened. And he also thought it was hilarious. But this is why I have to tell you that story off that random tangent that happened like 4 nights ago. Marcus texts me today and he goes, did you know this thing existed? And it was a single EP of Sledgehammer on vinyl, but there are rings of, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the video. Have you guys seen I know Brian's seen the video.
I have not.
Eric
Look it
and I
up on
talked
YouTube.
about this earlier.
It's the craziest video. It's so cool. There's all this claymation. It's perfect for the song. It's absolutely amazing. And so on the vinyl itself, there's rings from the video of like different frames of the video. And so when it spins, you actually see different frames of the video.
Ah,
It's very cool.
It looks like they're moving.
I'm thinking with portals there.
Yeah, it's very cool. So I immediately bought it. I'm not going to tell you how much I spent on it, but I immediately bought it. And now it's coming in the mail because I had to have it.
I mean, I'm not going to say this is a judgment-free zone, but this part of the zone will not judge you.
Yay, 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 impulse buys.
It's not impulse buy. I have vinyl records. So it's just a beautiful, perfect record. Like
yeah, which is the textbook definition of an impulse buy.
Impulse buy is when I'm standing at the line and I go, oh, I guess I'll eat some chocolate. That's impulse buy. This is, I did not know this fucking thing existed, and now I must own it.
That sounds like impulse buy to me, but okay.
No. We're going to have to disagree on that, David. Remember, you're afraid of me, David.
I know.
Okay.
I am. Okay, so Eric, I am realizing that there is information you don't have, Zan, after hearing all.
True.
So Erica told the story about us screaming at each other in a parking lot. We're siblings.
That I did know.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I'm just not this horrible screaming match, because 2 screaming matches come up one after the other. Okay.
I mean, it means that I have to give you shit. It's not that I think you're a terrible person who
Brian,
screams to people.
the mere fact that we have stories about having scream matches, yet we're still here having fun and joking about them, says a lot.
Yeah, no, it says something. I've never had a sibling, so I cannot empathize.
David and I don't have the excuse.
We don't.
We just had been running games for 3 days without sleep and then happened to be at the same table.
And at the
Cons-
opposite ends of a somewhat heated verbal argument. That
Do you remember
Yes.
what the issue was?
it was a stupid rules call, and as
It
soon as I
had
was
to do
pointed
with
out
what
as being wrong, I
It
apologize.
had to do. It was Pathfinder First Edition. It had to do with what happened to your initiative order when you made an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
And neither of us remembered that the attack of opportunity happens before the thing that triggered first.
Yeah, so we were at a very heated argument about what happened to the initiative order to the point of where the game had stopped and we're just yelling at each other.
And then we apologized to everybody.
Yeah, sorry.
It was
I
so
had a
heated
similar
that-
throwdown with my GM over negative and positive channel energy in BF1. So
Always fun.
Oh, hey, at least it's not as bad as 3.5. There
good God.
there were so many arguments about channel energy, and I think
his argument
yeah.
was that if you chose as a cleric to be able to channel negative energy, that you could not cast Cure Wounds because the flavor text describes you as channeling positive energy.
No, I would agree 100% with that interpretation. If you chose to channel negative energy, you would only be able to use in harm spells. You would not be able to use cures because the power you're generating is negative, not positive.
No, Zan is not saying trading out spells. Zan is saying at all.
Yeah,
like if
you wouldn't be
cast
able
a
to
harm
cast
spell,
your light
you can't
wounds.
cast heal spells anymore.
And that was the GM stance, was that if you were a negative energy cleric, you could only cast harm.
I agree with that.
I'm the only healer, and you didn't tell me going into this.
Yeah, it's not a rule.
No, it's just that's the way I'd interpret it.
And I would have accepted that better if he told me when I took my level of cleric.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, it's sort of like the rule argument from Gamers Darkness Rising, the movie, that I've always empathized with was when they get to the final boss, the boss makes it so the cleric can't cast spells anymore, and they're like, if we would have known this was possible, I wouldn't have played a cleric.
Fair.
I mean, to be fair, most of the time when you're a cleric and you lose your spells, it's because you fucked up. You piss your deity off enough and they go, no.
We've reached the part of the game where we use Mike Myler's rules to hand out widgets to see who wins. There are 4 of us, which means we each have 5 widgets that we can distribute among ourselves to decide who wins.
Yeah, I'm going to need 20 of you guys. Get ready.
For listeners, I held up finger quotes for that. If you want to see my finger quotes, you can go to patreon.com/nerdpodcastradio, and we have video on our Patreon there. Zan,
God, I love
5 widgets. Who do you want to give them to?
You can't spread them out. You can also give them to yourself.
Yes. We will judge you.
That just feels like bad form.
Oh, yeah, no, you are
really.
a terrible person when you do that, but you're totally allowed to.
Okay. So...
I'm probably going to do it.
Well, you get to leave in like half an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
He has to go. He gets to go have fun.
All right. So quick recap. So David, you Ren fared.
Yes.
And Brian, you yelled at YouTube.
Yeah, mine was pretty lame, but I did do that.
And Erica, I apologize. We have tangented so much that you're
Peter Gabriel vinyl that has the music video.
The vinyl. Let's see.
Erica wins.
I was gonna say I think I'm gonna have to give 2 to David and 1 to Brian and 2 to Erica.
Ooh.
Very, very diplomatic of you.
Yeah.
Brian, you're next.
All 5 to myself. No, I'm kidding.
It's not the first time, and it won't be the last.
I've done it before. I've never done it when I'm second. I've always done it for the
finale.
I've done it for the meme at the end.
Fair.
I'm gonna give all 5 to Erica.
Hey.
I've always really appreciated your vinyl collection. I've contributed to your vinyl collection.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give 2 to Zan and 3 to Erica. She knows why. Erica, your turn.
I am going to give 2 to David and 1 to Brian because I think it's hilarious when he gets mad and yells. And 2 to Zan.
Yay! Erica,
wins.
You are far and away the winner.
Congrats, Erica.
All right, you're going to Erica's house. Get in the box.
The sigh and groan of the widgets, knowing that they have to go all the way across the country.
No, I said get in the box.
And once again, patrons, someone wants to do fan art of the widgets, you are welcome to. I think that there is some kind of metaphysical rule that stops you from doing it because nobody has, but you can.
I mean, you do realize you've opened the floodgate to sexy widgets, right?
That's
if only. That'd be
you say
great.
that like it's a bad thing.
Oh, it's not bad. It just needs proper warning.
I mean, we don't have one now, but I mean, if we had to add an 18+ channel to our Discord for that. I would.
For the purpose of sexy
Stupid
widgets.
sexy Flanders.
Excellent.
I don't know
I
what
diddled,
I'm saying for
I
it.
diddly ho. I diddled ho.
God damn it, Brian.
Oh, Christ.
I'm gonna
Tabletop, as I said,
starting your OnlyFans now.
as I said earlier, tabletop role-playing games are a group activity, and they require a facilitator, director, storyteller. Some game systems say game master. Dungeons and Dragons says dungeon master.
Apocalypse World says Master of Ceremonies, which I think is classy of them.
Oh, I haven't known that one. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that is classy.
Hmm.
Nice. I prefer God.
So I'm just gonna say this. We have a little chat in this Zoom, and David said when I had a goatee, I looked like Gordon Freeman.
Yeah,
I prefer Ned Flanders.
that's why you shave the goatee. You just have the mustache.
I knew the second I started losing weight, I would get Ned Flanders jokes too. I knew it would happen.
Yeah.
So what is Apocalypse World title for it again?
Master of Ceremonies.
Master of Ceremony. And I know that I think Storyteller is probably the most common one
I can
when
see
you start
that.
getting into the indie games. But basically a director or storyteller of a role-playing game, they direct the role-playing game. They may do it with a pre-published module. They may do it with their own world building, but players play in a world that is directed by the GM. They play their players. The game master plays everything else. And there are lots of different ways to do that. And I am going to ask Zan first. When you were thinking about styles of GMing, what popped into your head?
So I was thinking about the fact that I was in a game and none of the players had played with this GM before. He was like an outside source, as it were.
He was an outsider.
Yes. And so the point was this group wasn't super familiar playing with each other, and they weren't at all familiar playing with him. So I think it really highlighted the fact that when you're in a new group, you need to ask a lot of questions about what people want to see in gameplay. Because like I have run with the Order of the Amber Die, which is a group out on the professional group of role players on the East Coast that will, I'm not sure what they do these days. Oh, go ahead.
Friends of the show, actually.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, we had them on once.
Wonderful.
I don't remember which campaign they were doing. At
It
the
was
time.
a long time. It was a long time ago, but it was before I joined. So
No, it was the Lovecraftian Adventure Pack.
Oh yeah,
was
Strange
back when they were doing
Aeons.
that.
I was part of the end of that.
nice.
I was in the last like 3 sessions, I think. But
Yeah, we did the biggest episode we ever did. We had all of them on.
nice.
It was crazy.
That was before my time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for the uninitiated,
Everybody pause for 1 second.
All right, hold on.
What?
You want me to actually pause?
What happened?
No. Don't actually pause.
Oh,
I meant pause the conversation.
okay.
Just take a beat. Just a second. No, you can't. But you can eat this. Can we just take a second to say hi to my uncle? I have something important to say. That's why I'm pause the conversation.
Thank God.
Oh my God.
Ellie.
That's not why I paused the conversation, for record. I paused the conversation because I wanted us to all just sit in the moment and hear what Zan said, which was professional role-playing group. They do it as a profession.
Yeah, must be nice.
to clarify, no one cuts them a check. What they
but it's side hustle, doesn't matter.
Well, yes, but what I'm saying is that part of the definition of professional in this case is, say, if you're a college athlete and you accept sponsorships or like gifts of things from
That
outside
100%
sources.
counts, yeah.
Yeah, so
I
basically,
mean, even
it
if they
is-
weren't making money and they were just getting supported by a company, that counts.
exactly, and I'm just saying
Yeah.
that like, and they might very well like make money on Patreon these days. I don't know.
It's just
we
like
put out
how we're
podcasts.
professional podcasters.
Exactly, but
Yeah,
I just
but
wanted to
what-
say that like,
I appreciate the clarification. But my point was, I am 40 years old-ish, roughly, give or take a few years. 30 years ago, if somebody would have said you could put on your resume that you're a professional role player, they would have thought you were an actor. Like it would have never, but now it's different. Now
It
it's
is.
here and it's okay, and people aren't trying to take my lunch money anymore. Nobody ever tried to
Depends on where you're sending said resume
Order
out,
of
but
the
yes.
I think Order of the Ember Die might be one of the only groups that could claim it for players.
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of professional GMs, but it's older than you think, Eric. Lisa Stevens, one of the founders of Paizo, did pro GMing when she was in college, which is a neat thing. That was a thing that
I
you
didn't
could do.
know that.
I used to go to
That's
Auntie
how
Lisa's
old I
Storytime
think it
all the
is.
time. I loved Auntie Lisa's Storytime at the cons.
Nice.
It's about the fact that you could put it on your LinkedIn profile right now and nobody would give it to, wouldn't blink at it. That was my point, Brian, is that it's socially acceptable. It's mainstream now, which is both great.
Yeah, being a nerd is cool now.
Yeah, which
well,
I don't think we really talk
we're
about
all
it.
wearing glasses.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, Zan, I just thought you were saying one
that
whole
is
thing,
fair.
and that needed a pause.
I mean, Weird Al Yankovic said it right. I spend my weekends at the Renaissance Fair.
So those who are listening, everybody, just take a moment of silence, sit in gratitude for our lives where all of this is possible. That's what Erica is saying.
That is fair.
The silence is going to get edited out.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Well,
we sat in that moment.
But yes, so for the uninitiated, the Order of the Ember Die will take a Paizo Adventure Path book, and they will run it over the course of 4 days. And for anybody who doesn't play tabletop, that is crazy pants.
That's crazy
is...
pants.
They sleep in shifts because they have to.
I mean, yes, I have roleplayed for 20 hours straight, slept for 5 hours, and then did it again.
It's very cool that you got to be involved.
Oh yeah, no, it's some of the best gaming experiences of my life. Gotta say, went in not knowing any of them, came out 3 days later with best fun. It was fantastic.
I have to tangent real quick.
Yeah.
What is your background?
Is
it
back
tarot?
there? So this is a dollar store tablecloth.
Oh my goodness.
So it has fortune teller back there.
Potions and elixirs.
Yep.
That is the find of the century.
Cauldron supply. Yeah, no, I went back for a second one because the thing is, so my partner and I bought a house between last time I saw y'all.
Nice.
And I'm like, I want my room to be red, my office to be red. And they call it the murder room because it's all red, which is great. Except I have, because of my skin tone, it makes me look super pink and it's terrible. So I have these.
Oh, speaking of pink skin, I forgot to turn my ring light on.
But anyway, so yes, the idea is that in the Order of the Ember Die, they play by the rules. There are not they don't house rule a whole lot. It's very by the book. You die. It's very hardcore.
Insert Big Lebowski clip here.
Yeah, and it's very intensive, but you know that you're going into it, that it's going to be very intensive. They have Spire mode where if it comes around to your turn and you go, oh, well, what am I going to do? They skip you and they go on because we're in a hurry.
Wow.
And you have to know what you're doing ahead of time. Anyway, so there's that. And then, there are obviously much more loosey-goosey ways to go about it. But this GM that we played with, his style was, if you are not under threat of constant death, I'm not running it correct.
Oh, one of those.
And what we wanted to do was have some role play and have a good time doing the thing. So part of it, important background information, everyone who was a player had written part of this adventure. And so we knew what was coming in a lot of cases. And I can see why he would want to mix it up a little bit, but he would just whip. It was oh, this was supposed to be an ice elemental. And he's like, oh, that's nice. It's an ice devil now. The CR would just jack suddenly. And it would be oh, well, he has telepathy to 30 feet, and you came within 30 feet of him, so he knows that you're there. That's not how telepathy works. I'm just saying.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, and it's actually D&D 2024 came out in the midst of this game, and we were all playing OG D&D 5.0, and he would bring in 2024 character or monsters, which generally are stronger than the 2020 equivalent.
That is I didn't even think about that when it came to styles, when you have GM style clashing with player style. That's happened to me too.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. There was a bit where one of the characters actually got turned into a vampire. and it was very intense because my character was an old lady, an old chicken lady, like if you think of Lady Cluck from Robin Hood. She was essentially that, but she was an abbess, and her name was Mother Hen, because of course it was.
I love it.
And so she had adopted basically one of the other player characters, whose name was Gwyd, which means goose. And so she would call her gosling, and she would like take care of her and blah blah blah.
That's adorable.
And Gwyd got turned into a vampire.
Oh God.
And Mother Hen was specifically an anti-undead cleric.
Oh no.
And like we were wanting to have this big emotional thing, and the GM just kept like pushing the pacing, and we just couldn't slow down and make room for, the emotional impact to breathe. And it was very frustrating. Ultimately, we ended up laying that down for a bit, which then became forever. So RIP that game, I guess. But it did teach me that you should, like, whenever I run, like, after doing that, I asked my players, how lethal do you want this to be? And they're like, not at all, actually. Like, we would like there to be combat, and we don't want you to, like, whiff on purpose, but we're not here for survival. We are here to tell a fun story. I'm like, well, that is valid and, good to know ahead of time.
Yeah, my weekly game, they're war gamers, so there isn't a whole lot of RP.
That would do it.
Well, it's really hard when I'm running a campaign game. But right now, we just started book 5 of Kingmaker, playing Pathfinder First Edition.
You guys are flying through that.
Not really. Been playing for 3 years. This particular campaign's been going on for almost 3 years now.
Book 5 on the 3rd year. That would be flying.
Okay. Yeah, their kingdom size is almost 80 hexes.
That feels chunky.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Their DCs are over 100 for all their checks.
Oh my God. That's what's been wild. I have a Friday game that's Pathfinder, and like most of what I'm in, the rest of the things is 5e or other systems, and the numbers in Pathfinder, I'd forgotten how broken they get.
Oh, it gets insane. It's great. Yeah.
Like, I have a plus 52 perception. Okay.
Cool. You still failed.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But the numbers are just crazy pants.
Yeah. So I have a group that is all about that combat, all about that tactical combat. And they love it. It's a lot of fun, but when it comes to doing the other parts of role playing, the actual like role playing, I don't get it. It's like she does. Yeah, they have a bird. They have a bird.
Yep. Right. And if you want to see the bird on camera, you should go to the Patreon.
Yes.
This is Rennie. If you hear me muttering things to myself, it's because she's flat calling.
Wow, we've never had the guest do the plug before. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
But yes, please continue, David.
Yeah, sorry, David. I was distracted.
What was I saying?
This is what happens when I take too many gummies before we get on here.
I see.
You were talking about how they're war gamers and they're not very into the role-playing aspect.
Yeah. So, and then I have another game I'm playing where it's the exact opposite. They combat, and everyone runs around not knowing what the hell to do, but the role-playing is awesome.
That's fair.
It's just, it all comes down to the players you're actually playing with, and a good GM is able to tailor their game towards their players. I don't throw role-playing encounters at my wargaming group because that's like throwing a brick wall at a brick wall.
I've been playing for a table that is we when we did our session 0, and I will explain what that is after I finished telling the story. But when we did our session 0, we all agreed that it would be a heavily role-playing game with, there wouldn't be no combat, but it would be a good amount of role-playing. And we'd have sessions with role-playing only on it. I am cool with that. But when I do combat, I tend to homebrew my monsters and don't tend to just use monsters from the book. Often I do use the monster from the book, but I file off the serial numbers or I add to it quite a bit. And because these are people who've been playing a long time, and I wanted to remove all chances of metagaming. That is very hard for this group. They flip out whenever they experience something they've never seen before.
You already know my favorite sentence to use to combat metagaming.
Yeah, I've used it.
I love it. It's so good.
You tell it though. Oh yeah, I know Zan will appreciate it.
Yeah. So Zan, I'm playing a game, and my buddy goes, all right, cool, I'm gonna attack this werewolf with my silver thing. All right, cool. You hit him with it. Yeah, it doesn't do as much damage as you think it should. He goes, but he's a werewolf. I go, yeah, weird, isn't it?
That's amazing.
I have an issue where I have a lot of trouble being hard on my players
Hmm.
in a fair way. So I tend to be a little soft-handed. But the reason why for example, my players will go into a combat with a thing with 1,000,000 resistances and immunities, and nobody will check to see if they know anything about it.
Ew.
No.
And it's like,
And then they complain that,
You
well, how are we
watch them
supposed to know
getting-
all that?
absolutely pummeled before someone goes, wait, well, I'm going to recall knowledge on this thing. And then that was one thing I liked about first edition Pathfinder. I think that's the problem, is that in second edition Pathfinder, it's not automatic. You have to take an action to recall knowledge.
Oh, interesting.
And a lot of these players aren't used to that.
Yeah, that's because the 3-action systems.
I like the 3 action.
I haven't played Pathfinder second edition since
Good.
playtesting era, so
Good.
I can't say.
You're better off for it.
I haven't played
Fair.
in years, unfortunately. Nobody around here wants to.
But
do
Lee
that.
has played
Pathfinder
second
second edition is almost as bad as 4th ed, in my opinion, quite
Ooh,
frankly.
that's
You do not have enough experience with it to make that judgment, David. You do not.
that is pretty harsh.
I am going to call you out that I know you haven't played it enough to make that judgment call.
I don't know.
That's
I played
your opinion.
4th edition, and I knew after the first playthrough that I hated it.
I know. The funny thing is you probably know it too. I know you would have fun if I ran it for you, but then you would make the excuse that, yes, a good chef can make bad ingredients taste good.
Fair. But I'm sorry, having to actively raise my shield or it doesn't count is fucking bullshit.
That does feel like bullshit. I gotta concede. Hi, Remy.
But
I'm
you can
making
take
paper
3
stars,
actions per turn.
And Remy wants to eat them.
Whoop-de-doo, Basil. Whoop-de-doo.
The funny thing about it is it doesn't really change anything. It just gives you an advantage if you don't have a Aw.
Yeah.
This is Remy Starcruncher.
Aw.
That's her Star Wars
Is it
name.
Conyer?
Yes, she's a green sheet conure.
Everybody knows
Yeah.
that the bird is the word.
Yeah. And if you want to see
If you want to see
you can
Remy
go to
tearing paper.
patreon.com/nerdpodcastradio. You want to see David die every time I do that.
Oh, God, it's so funny. Well, it's mainly because I look at Erica for her reaction.
Erica does not like it when we plug the Patreon. We're only supposed to do it once per episode.
No. I'm going to put my marketing manager hat on here. If you plug something too often, people get annoyed and then they get mad at you. So
But when it becomes a bit, it becomes part of your branding.
no more than twice. I know. And now it's a bit because I told y'all no more than twice. And you're like, oh, how often can we do this and make Eric cringe?
So our listeners will be
Now people are
disappointed if we don't
watching
do it
Erica.
18 times.
Oh, my favorite is we actually expect her to listen to the episodes.
What's really funny is we don't do it very often when Erica's not here.
I know.
I mean, yeah, at that point.
Oh, what a cutie.
I know. You know
Well-
what? I should listen to the episodes when I'm not here, but I don't. Here's why I don't listen to our episodes. One, if I'm on it, I already know what everybody said. What difference does it make? Two, if I'm not on it, all I'm going to want to do is pick up the phone and call either one of you and be like, that was wrong and you were wrong and this is why you were wrong. So there's really
You say that
no
like it's a bad thing.
There's really no point in doing that because that's,
I disagree entirely, but okay.
Isn't that the reason you're a host?
Right?
Because you would call me on the phone and be like, this was wrong and you were wrong.
Yep, that's exactly
And I'd be
what
like, you should be on the show.
yeah.
All right.
Brian at my wedding was like, hey, I'm doing this thing with my friends. You should totally listen to it. And I already listened to a bunch of podcasts. So I was like, okay, sure. And I listened to it. And I immediately was like, why would you say that? You're wrong. Like I just immediately had to pick up the phone and tell him why he was wrong.
Yeah. She did the thing I did to Matthew Colville. She yelled at me while she was listening to the show. So listeners, I am bopping out. The reason why is because I have tickets to a show. We made podcast
He has
schedule
somewhere
changes.
better
and
to be than recording
Yeah.
with his friends. I see how
Yeah,
it is.
I just had to be here because Zan was here. I am so sorry, Zan. but
You were totally fine. Have fun, Brian. It was great
I'm gonna go
seeing
watch
ya.
a string
You're
quartet play
supposed to
pool.
give him shit.
Yay.
Have fun, Bri.
Bye, Brian.
Hey,
Have
give
fun.
my favorite sister-in-law a kiss for me.
I will.
But, like, nicely, not like on the.
Tell your
Okay.
cockatoo I love them.
I will. Bye, Zan. I'll see you soon.
Bye. All right, he's out of here. Let's party. No, I'm kidding. So what were we talking about? All right, gaming.
Monkeys.
Wait, what?
It was a thing my kids say. You know, like not my monkeys, not my circus, and then like come in and you're like, what happened to all the monkeys? Sorry, continue.
Gotcha.
I'm just not hip enough with the kids to get by.
Look, I'm turning 40
My
this year. Leave
house
me
is
alone.
My house is just weird. I think there's a lot of inside stuff that like nobody would. It
Right,
never-
doesn't translate.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love kids. I can never eat a whole one, but
The problem is that nobody respects that they need to be slow.
yeah, it's all about that slow roast.
Yep.
I don't know. I've just been aging mine. I guess that's the wrong way to do it.
I mean, it depends on how tough you want your meat. Oh, baby, the other white meat.
All right. Erica, did you have anything to weigh in on GMing styles wise?
Yeah, you've been a GM before. You did quite well. It was fun.
Oh, thank you, David. It's so sweet when you say I did quite well. It's always lovely to hear.
I mean, I've been a Pathfinder GM for Society for coming up on 20 years now. I have met hundreds of GMs and played with dozens. You are one of the good ones.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've GM'd a few times. I don't know. Here's my thing. This is what I think about whether it's D&D, well, Pathfinder Society, so you got to do things a certain way, to, you know, but no matter what RPG you're playing, I think of the books, the rules, the monsters, all the things as the paint, and I get to be the paintbrush, and I get to put it to the canvas. Like, as a GM, that's what I think. So I'm not gonna lie. If I ran a game for people that wanted to rules lawyer me, which has happened, right, David?
I stopped very quickly after that first time. All right, I apologize, and I immediately stopped. I actually her once, and I apologized profusely.
You did. You weren't the problem in that game. Remember?
I know.
Yeah. Anyways, my point is I wouldn't want to play with somebody who just wanted to rules lawyer. Because if you want to, like, and maybe I'm weird, but if you want to rules lawyer, then maybe you should be playing a video game that will absolutely never let you go outside of those parameters.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I want to run as a GM. And, but like you were saying, Zan, there are some players where all they want to do is just tactics and et cetera. And I do tactics. We do that, but that's not the kind of game I'd want to run. So at that point, it'd be like, okay, I don't think I'm your guys' GM, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's why, actually, I don't think Brian got around to session 0, but that's why session 0 is important.
Generally, yes, it is. And it's the point where you get a chance to, you know, kind of feel out your players and see the kind of crazy that's about to befall you.
Yes.
And, you know, it needs to happen to various extents depending on who you're playing with. Like my Thursday game, we've all played together, some of us since college. So that's been, since 2014. So, you know, a hot minute. And, you know, we like touch on some stuff if it comes up, but it's not really an issue. But, you know, it would have been way better in this other game I was talking.
That's one thing about society play that makes things interesting, because when you sit down to GM a table, you have no idea what your party makeup's going to be until you start.
I assume that can be very lopsided somehow.
It
like,
can
have
be
you ever sat down and someone's been like, I'm a rogue, and then they're like, I'm a rogue, and then someone's like, oh, by the way.
Yeah, that happens all the time. The problem with society play is you need to have some flexibility, and unfortunately, some players are renowned for their inflexibility.
Does
You know, some round pegs don't want to go into the square hole, no matter how much you try and coerce them, even though everything else goes in the square hole.
I was in a game where we were all playing different classes, but we were all essentially rogue.
Square hole.
Yep.
You know where this triangle goes? That's right, the square hole.
So I guess my point, Zan, was like you were saying, as a GM, it's important to talk to your players. I think it's also important for you to communicate with your players, is what I was trying to say. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Like, they can't read your mind.
Yeah. They don't know that I just want to be like, sure, why not? Because I want to see what happens.
Right.
Let's find out, you know? Or, you know, sometimes I'll be like,
the real skill in GMing is doing that, but not letting your players see you do that, just doing that internally. That way it makes it sound like you have all this shit planned out.
It's always the best whenever like something just sort of circumstantially happens and you're like, yes.
One of my favorite GMing tactics, and this is a secret for GMs, you don't actually have to write answers for your riddles. Just let them guess until something sounds good and go with it.
You know, I think riddles are a really great example of how it's really easy for something to go sideways in a game.
You can have the simplest puzzle in the world, and they'll sit there and scratch their heads for 3 hours trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm running. It's called Memories of Holdenshire. It's the intro adventure for Level Up Advanced 5th Edition. And there's specifically like a riddle you have to make get things for a quiche. That's what it was. You have to get some stuff for a quiche, and you have to solve these riddles to know what you need to get for the quiche to like break the spell. And there's a fallback that's specifically like, are your players having trouble? Have them make knowledge nature check.
Yeah.
So I think that's always a good fallback. I do like your idea though. If I run it again, I will definitely try it that way.
Yeah.
Because that is
just wait for them ideas. Wait for them to come up with something really good and be like, that just might do it.
Yep, absolutely. I like your spunk.
I know. So the way my husband proposed to me is he worked with our GM, who's a friend of ours, and introduced us he created an entire adventure around getting to the very end of it, and so that my husband could propose to me at the end, because it was like a temple of love. And like, yeah.
That's amazing.
It was unbelievable. It really was. And the riddle at the end, I don't remember what the riddle was, but I know the answer, because I was like, why did I not get that? Was the song from the Bangles, Eternal Flame. Like, that's what
I can't imagine what the riddle was.
I can't remember.
That was the answer.
But that was the answer, Eternal Flame. So, yeah. And then I was like, I can't get this. And then he like asked my, boyfriend at the time, and he's like, hey, Chris, what do you think it is? And I turned around and he goes, will you marry me? And I'll tell you what, I was so frustrated with the riddle, and I was so annoyed that this was all a setup, because I was playing a fucking game. I was in it.
This is a distraction, damn it.
That when I turned and I looked at him and I went, oh, fuck you. That was literally the first thing I said to him when he asked me to marry him. The first thing.
So that should tell you everything you need to know about Erica as a person.
And then I said, yes, I'll marry you. What's the answer to the riddle? Yeah.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Classic.
It was the best. And what's really funny is I had been joking with him that if he ever asked me to marry him, that there'd be no way he could make it a surprise. And he did.
And he was like, challenge accepted.
Yeah, he did it. He rose to the challenge. Yes.
Nice.
So, but my point is I think you're right, David, that riddles are a pain in the ass for Black.
Yes, they really are. The riddle was like a sun in the sea that's found in the lee. And the answer was a robin's egg, with like yolk and blue and blah blah.
Yeah, okay.
But one of the players thought it might be a water lily, because the pattern of the water lily in the water and blah blah blah. And I wish I'd known your tip beforehand, because I would have totally been like, yes,
you son of a bitch. You're right.
Water lily quiche, we're doing it. It's fine.
No, David, you had it right. You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
I love that my kids do that to me sometimes. Like GMing aside, like parenting is like the ultimate GMing. I'll tell you that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes my kids will do that. They'll just be like, it's like the most obvious thing. Like, I don't know, like, Mom, why wouldn't we just go there? Or like something like that should be obvious, right, to me. And I'm just like, well, fuck, you got a point. All right, let's do it.
Right? That seems like the way to do it.
No, you got me. All right, let's go.
Yeah, you got me. All right. That makes
it's a fair cop.
Yeah. I really do feel like parenting is like the ultimate GMing. I'm like GMing humans. I have to stop them from killing themselves when they know that I know it's totally gonna kill them, right? I've got to like get them to level up accordingly on a time schedule through school. I've got to make sure they don't starve to death, that there's enough food in the area for them to consume.
Right. You're open to collaboration. Very important.
Absolutely open to collaboration. Absolutely. Yes. I feel like parenting is just a level up GMing. Like you never get to get out of it.
That's fair.
The forever G.
The forever GM. Yes. Never thought about parenting like that, did you, David?
Well, they don't call them crotch goblins for nothing.
Hey.
I love you. When I was pregnant, my youngest brother, Jonathan, he's like, "How are you and the parasite today?" I was like, "Stop calling my baby a parasite." He goes, "Well, if we want to think about it technically, what's happening right now to your body?"
I mean, he's not wrong.
No, he wasn't wrong, which just made me more angry about it.
I mean, it's sort of like oh gosh, what is it, like the Rh positive or Rh negative? Like if your blood type is at odds with the baby's in a certain direction, like essentially your first birth will be fine. But if you have it naturally and essentially your body goes, "Oh, that's an invading force," if you have a second baby with the same like setup, like your body will literally attack it.
Oh, I know. I had to have the ROGAM shots. I know. I'm Rh negative. I'm very aware.
That sounds so stressful. That happened to my cousin. It's like, yeah, here, please be on these immunosuppressants for X amount of time before you deliver.
Yep.
Bodies are so dumb.
Yeah.
Totally dumb.
Yeah. So it's also why a lot of Rh negative women have miscarriages too.
Oh, that follows.
Yep. It's crazy. The more you know, David, the more you know.
The more you know.
Man.
Hey, if I've learned one thing in my almost 40 years, it's when to just shut up and not say anything.
That does make you a smart man. It does.
Yeah, no, I'm good with just a parrot, honestly.
Hey,
Nothing wrong with
for
that.
one, I can put her in a cage and no one will call CPS.
Fair.
That is true.
Yes, and you'll never need car insurance. No, and you'll never go to college.
Yeah, children are fucking expensive.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
So expensive.
She's not going to date. I don't think she would agree to have another bird in her vicinity, to be fair. So.
Well, my first one didn't want another child in the vicinity, but you can't send them back. So,
I mean, when I was a little bit, apparently, according to my mother, I tried to pick out children from the Sears and Roebuck catalog.
Nice.
I was like, can we have that one, Mom? As it turns out, that's not how babies
work. Damn.
Right?
But I thought you could order anything from Sears and Roebuck. That was the point.
They lie.
Oh.
Almost anything. Oh, man.
So I know another type of GMing style that can be quite contentious with people is the GMs that hide everything, that roll in the dark and tell narrative that way. I'm not that guy. I roll in the open. I throw my dice on the table. What happens happens. I don't pull my punches.
Right. That's fair.
It's the same. You hit me, you hit me. I hit you. It's nothing personal, man.
Yeah, I ran with a GM who basically told us because he had the big map grid and all that, and he'd draw it all out, and basically would horrify us all by telling us how lucky we were because his first group was a bunch of first edition players, and basically everyone had to bring their graph paper, and the GM would be like, okay, you can see 30 feet ahead in this 5-foot hallway, and would make them map it out.
Oh wow.
Manually. Which I think could have its place in certain kinds of gaming, like a degree of horror gaming.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always liked the idea of playing a one-shot, giving every player a blank sheet, and then just play the game as normal and letting them figure out their stats as you go along by giving them hints and clues.
There's an adventure that I run every once in a while. It's called the Demolished Ones.
Okay.
And it's for the Fate system.
Oh, okay.
And what it is everyone wakes up with amnesia.
Oh, nice.
And you basically so in Fate, I believe it's you have 1 skill at +4, 2 at +3, 3 at +2, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the point is they assign them as they go. So it's not like I know who they are and I'm revealing it to them. It's like,
they're building their character as the game goes.
Exactly. It's like, okay, how much do you want to be able to athletically climb up this wall? Do you want to assign that, or do you want to wait? And then the whole way as they're going and creating their character, you give them like flashback, and they get like skill bonuses based on these repressed memories.
That's cool.
And so you have who they think they are and who they've built their character to be, and then you have like who they actually are.
That's cool. The problem is I couldn't play a system like that. I couldn't play a system like that with my weekend group though, because again, they're war gamers, and that requires way too much character development. So it depends on your player.
Fate isn't a good war game.
No, it's not. But like I've had an idea for a game I've wanted to play I've wanted to GM for a very long time. I just have to find the right party for it, and I haven't found them yet. We're gonna play Star Wars Revised Core Edition, which is their 3.5 version.
Mm-hmm.
D20.
I think I played that one.
Yeah. So it's basically 3.5, but for Star Wars.
Right.
Because when they did the Saga Edition, which was their 4th ed, they completely fucked that game up. But that's beside the point.
I mean,
no, they made every
that,
force ability a skill check called a use the force check. At level 1, I could have a plus 14 use the force at level 1.
I
broke it.
Wild.
So I don't play Saga Edition, but so it's revised core. Everybody is going to be level 5. You get to be 4 levels of Ace Pilot and 1 level of whatever you want. Welcome to Rogue Squadron. You fly an X-Wing fighter.
Excellent.
Okay, why didn't you invite me to play? What is wrong with you?
I don't have a party yet. You are player number 1. As soon as I get at least 4 other people that want to play, I'm totally game. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, my problem is that I have way too many ongoing games. But if you do it as a one-shot, or you want a special guest star, you let me know.
Will do. Because, I've read all 9 of those novels so many times. I have most of them basically committed to memory.
Right. Oh, that reminds me.
I don't know if you could tell. I'm kind of a Star Wars fan.
That is very subtle. That reminds me. This doesn't necessarily have to do with GMing styles, but group-wise and special guest stars.
Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody talking about a group they were in where one of the players had to move away, and so they wrote out his character by having him be like swooped up by the bad guy's dragon or something and carried away. And so, like, several sessions later, they've been hearing about, like, the bad guy's 2IC and how he's hunting them down and blah, blah, blah. And the GM just very, like, leaves to go to the bathroom and comes back and puts his phone on the table. And then it's like, and then you see this, because he was a paladin. Yeah. And it's like you see this character in black plate armor with skulls. And then from the phone, we meet again. And it's like,
That's good. That's good. That's a great way of doing something.
Yeah, no, it was so good.
I love stuff like that, man. That's great.
Yeah, I had a GM one time who we had some coins that we found, and the GM had actually stashed them in the beer fridge. Because the whole thing was that, like, oh, you pick up the coins and they're cold to the touch and blah, blah, blah. And, like, this group had, like, a dedicated basement gaming room with a dedicated beer fridge. And she went over and just sort of, grabbed a beer, blah, 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 and then, like, drops the pouch down. And we're like, oh, my God, they're cold. Like,
nice.
Proper, like,
ambiance.
I don't know. It's real good.
Oh, I had a group one time. Actually, one of the people in the group did a needle point for me of our party because of it, because we were, I don't remember, it was a Pathfinder thing, David, so you probably ran it. There was like an asylum that you had to go into and stuff.
That's Carrion Crown. The very beginning of the first book of Carrion Crown starts in an asylum.
Yeah, so we were doing that, and my character had, like, I can't remember what it was, but it was essentially intuition, and she just like something was off. Something's off. Something's off. And we had a paladin in the group, and my character just like finally broke down and like stabbed somebody because like she was like, something's not right. Yeah. And the paladin like lost his shit. And then it turned out she was right, that everybody was evil and they were about to attack you.
So this adventure path is wild. You literally wake up basically naked in the basement of an abandoned asylum. And there's all kinds of haunts and spooky shit going on.
Oh, that sounds like a great time.
Yeah, and my character was like, something's not right, guy. Like, she was freaking out, right? And so she's like, nope, and just stabbed a guy. Like, she was like, don't like the way it looked. And she just
said, no!
Like, then lost his shit like immediately. It was like, oh, evil act, blah blah blah. And then I guess what me stabbing them actually triggered the rest of the whole room to like attack us. And then the paladin, like at the end of it, I turned to the paladin in character. And I went, it's not evil if you're right.
It's kind of like you're not paranoid if they're actually after you.
Yeah, so I was like, it's not evil if you're right.
That's good. That's good.
So another player actually needle pointed our characters with our weapons, and it said that it's not evil if you're right.
That's good. See, unfortunately, that's one of my gaming pet peeves is when someone plays a paladin is lawful stupid.
Yeah.
I stop.
It's been interesting. The PF1 game I'm in, I'm running a lawful neutral paladin.
Ooh, fun.
Specifically, it's an archetype from City of the Seven Seraphs, which I wrote because I was so mad that paladins had to be good.
Mm-hmm.
So they're paladins who work for necromancer librarians, and so they protect knowledge and blah blah blah.
I dig it.
Yeah. And what's that?
I said, I like it. I played a neutral cleric once that charged everybody for their healing spells because that's how business works.
I feel it. Especially like if you followed Abadar, like that would be super, super on point.
I mean, I've always been a fan of being able to play a Grey Knight. I mean, as much as I love being a lawful good paladin at times, sometimes you just want to be that neutral. No, this isn't right.
Yeah, well, it's like we were being attacked by Mind Flayer thralls.
Oh.
And I'm like, they're gathering around and they're attacking us. And I'm like, okay, so does a 17 hit? And the GM's like, this is an elderly woman.
Yes,
yeah.
17
I'm like,
hit.
oh, then it does. Cool.
Yeah. I have a paladin who's a dwarf, and I played him a lot like Shepherd Book.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Well, doesn't the Lord say something specific about killing? Doesn't the Lord say something about killing people? Yeah, quite specific. He gets so much fuzzier over on the subject of kneecaps. Wham! Yeah, he doesn't actually kill anybody, but he's gonna wade into that fight and start swinging a hammer.
Yeah. Dina yes, baby. Specifically had a guisarme, which is a type of polearm with a hooky bit, and the weapon was called the cat herder, just sort of jokingly.
That's good.
That's good. Especially because, sorry, the bird has to. 1 sec. Come on, Remy. Come on. Good job.
Yay!
You get a seed. But anyway, the point is that this was especially after, because everyone else in the party was chaotic. That was part of why she had to be the cat herder, was that someone would try and run off and she'd be like, nope, and just kind of hook them back in. And at one point, the chaotic good cleric fell into a pool of Mind Flayer, like, tadpoles.
Oh, no.
And so I was trying to get him out, so I tied a rope to Cat Herder, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to spearfish. GM, can I smite Chaos to hit him? And the GM's like, sure. So I'm like, aha. And I basically speared him through the leg and hauled him up. And that was the only reason why I hit him, is because I used Smite Chaos.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome. My God.
And so now what no one fully realizes, Cat Herder is now an artifact. We took a mythic path, and I took the third-party wielder path. So it's made the guisarme sapient.
That's awesome.
And what no one realizes is that they're the good cop, bad cop, and Dinia's the good cop, actually.
That's funny. That's good. That's almost up there with my buddy Grant's story about finding a unique way to get out of the Seven Hells.
Go on.
So he's playing in a game, and the GM has them. They got locked in the one of the seven layers of hell, and he's talking. They're walking around, and they find an underground lake, and they walk along the shore for a while, and they find a small pier, an old decrepit pier with a sunken boat tied up to the end of it. My buddy Grant goes, all right. He asks the GM, I look around for a second pier. He rolled some ridiculous number, and the GM goes, all right, yeah, you find another pier. All right, does it look just like the first one? Yeah, it's pretty much the same pier. Oh, all right, cool. I found a paradox. We can leave.
That's great.
That is excellent.
Yeah.
That is
all right.
It's like, at that point, it's sort of like you have to be flexible a bit. At that point, you kind of got to roll with it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Rich.
Classic story. He tells it a lot better than I do too. It was great stuff. Oh.
I don't know. I think my favorite story, and since Brian's not here.
Oh, go for it, please, by all means.
All right. So we were playing Star Wars, and Brian was GMing, and his brother, my husband, previous husband, he got mad at Brian over a rule, and neither of them would move, and he wouldn't break down, and Brian wouldn't relent, and it went and it went and it went. And finally,
I think Zan is sensing a theme.
Yeah. A little bit.
Finally, Matt stands up. That's Brian's brother, my first husband. And he takes his character sheet and goes, "I'm done," and rips it. And he doesn't just rip it once. He then takes it and he rips it again. And he rips it. And he goes, "Whoa," and tosses it. And he walks out of the room. And I just remember looking at Brian and I went, "Why? Now we can't play. All you had to do was let it go."
I do sense a theme going on here.
Yeah, but my point in telling the story wasn't to give you another time Brian got in a screaming match with a player at a table. My point.
That was the happy.
You're right.
That was just a happy side part of it. My point in telling you this is that I think I know we're talking about like good GMs, bad GMs. I think, not that Brian's a bad GM, because he's not. I think he was just young and stupid when this happened. But is knowing, like, is this a hill you're willing to die on? Yes, you're God. Yes, you can fight with the player all day long until they get up and rip up their character sheet and walk away.
I've done that once.
I've never done it. I'm just, I'm not that invested. I don't know.
I have a story about that, but continue.
Okay. So, but my point is also knowing how, not that you should ever let your players walk all over. You shouldn't. But I think there's a point of compromise because the game ended. We've been playing for like 7 months or something at that point. Like for 7 months.
Right.
Like, and now I never get to finish that story for multiple reasons, but still, it's like, should Brian have just been like, all right, okay, yes, but also this or something? Like, there's something you could have done as the GM.
Right.
To not ruin it for all of the players. So I think there's a responsibility not just for the players to not be assholes, but I think there's also a responsibility of the GM to know your players well enough to, maybe not well enough, maybe like, try to get a feel for them as you're playing. Because, we play with people we don't know all the time.
Right.
To give grace. That's what I'm getting at.
There we go. Oh, that's fair.
I have had the displeasure of playing with 3 terrible GMs. I'm not going to name names. They know who they are.
They probably don't if they're still doing it. But
well, one of them was just overly aggressive and viewed it as their duty to murder us every single game.
I hate that.
Yeah, it was not fun. And it didn't last very long, and that group fell apart rather quickly. The other GM, another one, the second of the triumvirate of bad, is I had a GM that did not know the rules well enough and took any question of a bad call as a personal attack.
Oh, no.
Oh, you can't do that.
I know. That game didn't last very long.
I bet it didn't.
Or at least...
Like, I'm all for using the books to paint, but also don't just toss out all the rules. Like,
well, don't just make up your own shit. And I go, that's not how that works.
Or if you're gonna be consistent.
Yeah, that's the other thing is
That's
same.
true.
He would not. This person would not make the same call every time. It was.
Yeah. No.
It's like you said it was heads last time. Now you're saying it's tails. Make up your goddamn mind.
Right.
And then the third type. I actually had 2 other friends. We created a tree. We got invited to play in this game that was a home game that needed new players. So we were told basic parameters and made characters for this game. We created a trio of fighters that all complemented each other and played together. We were the three amigos, the three musketeers, basically.
Yeah.
It was a fighter, a melee ranger, and a paladin, and
Love
we were the three amigos.
Yeah.
So we get to this game, and our characters get introduced, and we start playing, and we realize that he's using a homebrew system that all of his monsters are built out of that makes them almost 3 times as hard as they should be.
Oh.
To the point of where the first combat we barely survive, and we're like level 8.
Oh. Okay.
So we asked him about it, go, what the hell's going on? It goes, oh yeah, I'm using all these homebrew rules. You could have built your character using them to do it. And it's like, you didn't tell us that. He goes, well, too bad. So all 3 of us stood up, ripped our character sheets in half, and left. Because like, no, not doing that. No.
Yeah, 100%.
Fuck this.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah, we were there for less than an hour, and we're just like, nah.
Oh, that's
no.
impressive.
Yeah, like, no. We're done. Goodbye.
Yeah, there was a person I played with, and I wasn't running, but the game had been going on for a while, and we were introducing her as a new player, or a new character. And the GM just kept trying to give her ways to hook up with the main party. Like, we were in a city, the expedition was getting ready to leave, blah, blah, blah.
She just wouldn't take the hint?
She actively ran from the hint.
Oh, good God.
I had to chase her down in character. And so we asked, like, hey, Rachel, what's going on? And she's like, well, I figured if I was doing something I shouldn't, that you'd have hit me with GM lightning. And I'm like,
what?
Go on. And it turns out that basically her GM, there was so much antagonism between the players and the GM that if the players or the characters did anything like too zany or whatever, the GM would just have a lightning bolt hit them. And if they died, they died.
Huh.
And that was how they tracked parameters. And she was looking for the boundary of GM lightning. And that just seems like such a terrible.
That is just ridiculous. What the
it
fuck?
was. And once we finally sat her down and we're like, no, we're not gonna, no one's gonna hit you with lightning. It's fine. She was way better to play with, but it was.
Well, it's like one of those, we're gonna have a group of players. Okay, well, my character is a loner and doesn't have any friends. Okay, well, you're approached by this group of people. Yeah, I'd go the other. I don't like people. It's like, well, what the fuck are you playing then, dude? It's a group game.
Right?
You want to play solo? Go play a video game.
Right? Like, go write a novel.
Seriously,
fine.
dude. Yeah, fine. You can be the brooding, angry guy, but I'm a loner. I don't have any friends. Well, guess what?
Yeah, well, and it's like, I like setups when you do session 0, and part of it is like, hey, how do you know the person next to you? What is your connection with them, sort of thing, to kind of like bake that in. Because I was in a game once, and one of the characters was like loner, creepy necromancer dude. And part of why he was with the party was because he secretly liked little cute things. And I was running a goblin, like a basically like teenage goblin. And he was just like, you were adorable, and I will protect you with my life. That was the game that so in this setting, I forget what it was called, halflings and goblins are the same species. They're just like different genotypes, essentially.
Different sides of the same coin.
Yeah, and like every once in a while halflings will have a goblin baby, or goblins will have a halfling baby, and like the halflings feed the goblins because they have like farms and shit. And the goblins protect the halflings, and they like baby swap.
Interesting.
And this character got lost during the baby swap and got raised by wolves. And
interesting.
And they're like, okay, Sin, you are tiny and sneaky. You should go in and steal this ledger book so we can prove this guy's corruption. I'm like, okay. So I sneak in and I'm like, okay, what book am I looking for? And the GM's like, well, you were told it was labeled blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Riley, I was raised by wolves. I can't read. What do I do? So I started hucking books out the window and getting the person at the bottom to read them to me so we could know which one was right.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, Chris.
That is really good.
And the GM got me to roll a luck roll, and I did really well on it. And the essentially the goblin god, who sounded suspiciously like Jareth, was like, grab the green one, young one. And my goblin's like, well, I worship you for the rest of my life, I guess. as the guards are like knocking down the door because somebody noticed books being thrown out the window.
Holy shit, that's funny as hell.
So, you know, every once in a while we take literacy for granted, and whenever you suddenly pull that, then
So one of my favorite jokes to do with someone at the fair when I'm taking tickets is like, you know, how big's your party? And they go like some number like 6, and I go, I have to take my boots off to count that high.
But Erica, I feel like I am dominating the conversation over here.
Well, you're the guest. You're supposed to.
I mean, I guess it just, you know, you need to be polite.
Besides, your stories are awesome.
was just agreeing
Well, thank you.
that the Goblin God absolutely should be Jared.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
Yeah, no,
I had
it
a
was
whole
great.
conversation about how hot David Bowie was today, just like earlier today.
Yeah. So last weekend at the con was Cottagecore weekend. This current weekend is what they call RedCon weekend, which is basically the cosplay weekend. There's usually at least 3 Bowies that show up.
That sounds about
to
right.
the fair.
Do they commit to the bit with the cod piece?
Oh,
Is what I want.
fuck yes! Come on.
Fantastic. Like you'd kind of just have to.
It's the point of wearing the costume.
I mean, yes.
I feel like that's why you would do it.
Well, it's like when I was in college, we had this building, and it was called Feiner Hall, and it was somewhat infamous on campus because the school was actually known for its riots back in the 60s, I think. And there was this beautiful building, and because of the riots, it got burnt down. And in its place, as though to like thumb their nose at everyone, instead of this beautiful brick building, they made this giant ass brutalism monstrosity.
Ugh, I hate that.
So what it was is it was actually designed to be on a different campus, and it had slats that were sideways, like concrete slats that were supposed to keep like the sun out of your eyes whenever like the sun was setting or whatever. But because it was on the wrong campus, it was essentially backwards. And the rumor was that it was meant to be riot proof because like you'd have wing A, and then in the middle was B, and B was like at a different level. You had to like go downstairs and around a corner and then back upstairs to get into B. And then you had C. And the point was it was a friggin' maze. And so many people had intro level classes. Hi, Remy. Had intro level classes there, and everyone would get lost. So long story short, it was a maze, and we played a game that was basically us playing ourselves at college, and we went into Feiner and had to deal with the maze, and there was like the spiked bulldozer that was actually goblins and blah blah blah. And Jareth was actually like the dean of liberal arts whenever we got to the top. So
That's excellent.
That's funny. Well, we're coming up on time here. So, Zen, is there anything you'd like to plug or anything you'd like to discuss going on in your life right now that
Yeah. So if you're interested in a more social / exploration take on 5th edition D&D, you should totally check out Level Up Advanced 5th edition, and most importantly, the Patreon for the Gate Pass Gazette, curated by moi. And also, we are currently airing every other Tuesday at 11 Pacific, which is the most awkward time for a podcast.
Awesome.
But Mike Weiler and Akeem Favor and I have started what we've called the Fey Design Court podcast. And every other week, we have 2 episodes a month, and one of them is about the Shadow Wizard Money Bunny Gang.
I'm definitely going to have to check this out.
Which is our accidentally upcoming RPG, wherein you play shadow wizards who are bunnies and who need to like perform heists to cast their spells.
That's awesome.
So yeah, you should come check us out. We're gonna swap to Fridays at some point. Not this Friday. So
we'll get links and post them in the show notes.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yay! Awesome, Erica. Anything to anything for the ender?
No, but you know what? I just remembered I did 2 other way nerdier things.
Oh, by all means. Do you want to save them you want to save them for the bonus episode, or you want to air them out now?
Yeah, I'll save them.
Okay. So if you want to hear our bonus episode one more time, that's patreon.com/nerdpodcastradio. Access to bonus episodes. We do one for every single episode. We also have our video feed. You can watch us do this goofy shit live. Well, not live, but you know what I mean. Anyways, so I've been David Theobald III taking over for Super Vegan Brian, who had to go to a concert, you bastard.
Had to be all cool and shit.
I was joined by Kirsty Spurv Erica.
Hi.
And our very special guest, Savannah Broadway.
Oh, and Remy. You can't forget Remy.
Oh, yes, and Remy, of course, the de facto mascot of this episode.
Yes. And the master of all she surveys.
Yes. So, always remember, stay nerdy, stay informed, and stay awesome.
Stay awesome.
Thanks for listening to our nerd show. Podcast Radio.